So Scizor is a bug steel type, and something really unique about Scizor and Scyther is that Scyther actually evolves into Scizor, but their total base stat total doesn't actually change. So they both have 500, if I'm right. I think they both have 500, which is crazy. Yeah, they both have 500. So when Scyther evolves, its stats just get moved around and they don't actually change, which is very unique. And they're still the only evolutionary line that does that. But Scizor has 70 health, 100 defense, and 80 special defense, which is really good and it's really bulky, so it'll survive a lot of hits. And 55 special attack is not good. 65 speed, it's just high enough to matter and actually make a difference. And 130 attack, which is a lot of attack. And its abilities are really good with, well, okay, Swarm is decent, Technician's really good, and Light Metal is borderline useless. Scizor doesn't even have any moves that affect weight like Heavy Slam or anything, so it doesn't really matter. But it's Bug Steel, which is a really good typing. It's like Ferrothorn to where it's a 4 times weakness to fire, but it's like Ferrothorn where it has the 4 times weakness to fire and it's bulky, but it actually has a better typing than Ferrothorn because it's immune to poison and it has a ton of resistances, and it's only weak to fire where Ferrothorn has like fighting and stuff. But normal, dragon, bug, fairy, steel, psychic, and ice it's resistant to, and then it has a 4 times resistance to grass, so it's a lot of resistances, which is really good. And the good thing about the 65 speed is at +1 without the speedy nature you outspeed, I think it's like 115 or something, I'll double check, but I think you outspeed like 115 or something with a +1. But this is how I like to run Scizor, is just Swords Dance and then attacks. Swords Dance, max health, max speed. You can go max health in this. You can go max attack, max health. But I like Swords Dance, Iron Head, Bug Bite, and Dual Wing Beat. You can Dynamax this Scyther. This Scyther is actually good Dynamax. I would say Technician is the ability 9 times out of 10. But if you Dynamax, I would change Bug Bite and Dual Wing Beat to slightly higher base power. Like, I would replace this with either Acrobatics. I would replace it with Acrobatics because I don't think the 5 power will matter that much. Plus, once you eat your berry, Acrobatics will do a lot more damage undynamaxed. And Bug Bite for Scizor. Just so when you Dynamax, you get higher base power. But that's why I gave it the speed investment, because you want to Swords Dance and then Dynamax into the Dual Wing Beat if you can to take something out and get the speed boost. But if not, it still works. If not, you can just take it with the speed and just go max health and just be a bulky attacker. As long as they don't switch in a fire type, you're good. Or if they don't have a fire type, you're good. But pretty much Swords Dance. There's no steel move that gets the Technician boost other than like Bullet Punch, which it's priority for like 20 less damage. And I'd rather have the Iron Head for a bulkier set. But you can run Bullet Punch if you want. Bug Bite, 90 base power because of Technician. Dual Wing Beat actually does. Good thing about Dual Wing Beat is since it technically hits twice and it has 40 power, it gets the boost both times and ends up doing 120 power. It ends up having 120 power, plus it hits twice, so it's Focus Sash, whatever. It's actually a really good move. It's like Dual Chop, but for flying types, which they need it because there's not many good physical flying moves. And then Citrus Berry, just to be, if you want to run tanky, just Citrus Berry, even with the speed or not, Citrus Berry is really good. You can replace Dual Weave with Acrobatics, but what you want. And another one is just a really bulky Scizor, max special defense, sassy nature. Since you're lowering your speed anyway on Curse, and then max health, pretty much Curse, Roost, Bullet Punch, and Bug Bite. You're just what you want to do is you want to set up with Curse, get a lot of attack and defense. Your special attack is good. Roost to heal up. You can't be poisoned because you're a steel type, and plus the Citrus Berry for an extra burst amount of health while you're still setting up. And as long as they don't have Fairy, you're good. Or Fire, you're good because it's your only weakness. Bullet Punch, I like having Bullet Punch for the priority here versus on the other one, because you're going to be slow as ever. You're going to be extremely slow. Bug Bite has 90 base power, and if they have a berry, you'll eat it, which is really good if they're a tankier Pokemon, and especially if they are tankier. And there's something else with the Citrus Berry, a Lychee Berry, whatever. You'll eat their berry, and especially if it's a Citrus Berry, you'll gain some health back. Because they'll probably, as you're setting up, you'll probably have taken some damage. So take the Bug Bite, do damage, and eat their berry. So they can't heal, and you'll heal, which is really good. But You can replace Bullet Punch again with Acrobatics or Iron Head. I like the priority though, because you're gonna be so tanky that you can get over a +2, so the Bullet Punch will start doing a ton of damage. Plus it has priority, which is really good. Or if they bring in something that can outspeed you and KO you, you can Bullet Punch and do a ton of damage really quickly before you go out. But another thing you can do is Agility. Another thing you can do, this is kind of a weird one, honestly, which is pretty much Agility, take a hit, Endure, take another hit, get under a third health, so you proc both the Lychee Berry and Swarm. So pretty much, and then just X's or everything after that. So you'll have a +1 with your speed up. At that point, you should outspeed just about everything. Let me see. Let me double check. I think it was like 115 Scyther outspeed with a +1. Try this and see now. 329. Yeah, I think it has like 3. I think with the max speed, it has 334, I think. So I think you outspeed Cinccino without the nature, and I think it's like 105 with the nature with a +1. But with a +2, you should outspeed nearly everything that isn't the fast as the fast. But Agility, take a hit. Endure, take a hit. Lychee Berry and Swarm, just X's everything, because Swarm gives you an extra 50% on your attacking stat when you use bug type moves. When you have low health, Lychee Berry increases your health or attack +1. You have the Agility, so you outspeed everything. Acrobatics is 110 base power, and then you just X's or everything that's in front of you and just try to take everything out. Especially if they don't resist bug, it's really good because bug actually hits grass, poison, and psychic super effective. Actually, is that still right? Yeah, I didn't think that was right. Dark grass and psychic super effective. Yeah, I was like, I didn't think it hit poison super effective, but it's resisted by a good amount of things. So I wouldn't run Iron Head though, because you have to be careful when you're running just dual stab on both of these two. This one doesn't matter as much because you're setting up defense and you're supposed to be tanky, and the Bullet Punch is just for priority, and you'll set up enough to where it doesn't matter if it's really resisted. But for this one, because you're not getting as much attack, I would be careful about running dual stab because they're both resisted by steel and fire, I think. Yeah, steel and fire. So if they bring in a steel or fire, you're in trouble anyway if it's fire, but they bring in a steel type, you're really in trouble. So I would run acrobatics because it would at least cover your fighting. You hit everything neutral with acrobatics, I think, except steel. Yeah, except for steel. Just kind of, wait. That's not going to show me there anyway, and I think it's for steel. So you can run acrobatics in that last spot. You could run a dark move in that last spot, but then fairy and fighting. You can run a ghost move, actually, would probably be your best bet. If you just want I don't think it learns any ghost moves. Psychic will probably be your best. If you want to just hit everything, at least. If you want to be guaranteed to hit everything, I would run Psychic. But I think acrobatics is better because acrobatics is a lot of base power. But acrobatics is also really good. Also on the really tanky one, you could drop Bullet Punch for a knockoff too. You could do that. You could knock off Bullet Punch for knockoff just for that super powerful hit, and you're taking away their item. If they'll have an item, they won't have an item regardless. But just gotta be careful with this one with the acrobatics and getting stuck. But you could also run a just full health, full attack assault vest one with these moves. I like Bullet Punch for the priority, so in case you need to clean something up that has low health, because nothing sucks more than having low health, having the opponent have low health and then getting an extra hit in. So the Bullet Punch pretty much gives you that KO without taking any health. Iron Head, Bug Bite, Dual Wing Beat. Again, you can replace Dual Wing Beat. I just like the 120. It's like an acrobatics. Actually, it's more damage than acrobatics. The only thing that sucks is the 90% accuracy. Plus, it hits twice, which is really good. But it sucks there's no steel move that gets the technician boost. Well, no good one. But pretty much just full health, full attack. Just come in and beat things up and do damage with the technician. But some of the other moves Scyther learns are Night Slash and Psycho Cut. I wouldn't use them just because, especially Night Slash I wouldn't use. Psycho Cut you can make a case if you want a psychic move, but still wouldn't really want to use it. I wouldn't use Night Slash because Scizor learns things like Thief and I think it's Brutal Swing, Brutal Swing, which both have 90 base power at that point. So it's like, do I want 90 base power with Technician and even Assurance? 90 base power. I wonder if Assurance works with Confusion. Like if they hit themselves in Confusion, does it get doubled in power? I feel like it has to. But Brutal Swing, Assurance, and Thief all have 90 base power. I would pick probably Thief of all of them, especially if you had a barrier or something. I'd pick Thief over Night Slashed. Just if you want a high crit rate, I guess. Same with Cross Poison. I wouldn't really use it. Because you can get, with Technician, you pretty much get a bunch of extra 90 base power moves. So I wouldn't really use the 70s. But, what other moves does it learn? Counter, if you just want to run a full physical, come in, take a hit, and counter and KO them. It learns, I don't know if it learns Defog, actually. I feel like that's kind of suspect. Actually, no, Defog's a, check here. I think Defog's a TR now, if I'm right. Okay, I was right the first time. Oh no, it learns Defog through breeding, actually. Okay, that makes sense. Because I was like, I remember the Defog used to be way more common, and then it wasn't TM for a while. I would use Roost over Morning Sun too, because Roost has more PP. But also, Pokemon Showdown is not always the most updated thing, so you gotta be careful with that. Like, it doesn't learn Toxic anymore. But also, Tailwind, I think it learns Tailwind. Tailwind sounds about right. If it learns Tailwind, Tailwind's actually a really good one, especially if you run them in doubles. Let me check, because Tailwind's actually a really good one if it does learn it. It does not learn Tailwind. Okay, never mind, forget that. I was going to say Tailwind would be really good, though, if it did. Oh, well, but I think that's pretty much it. Egg Scizor. If you're not running Technician, Egg Scizor. There's no reason not to. But I do think Technician is one of the best abilities in the game, because it gives some of the lesser used moves that have really good side effects. It gives them good base power, so they actually do a good amount of damage now. But also, Scizor is one of the best fall swiping because it gets Technician and high attack, so it does a lot. You could also do Reversal on the Swarm set. I don't even think about that. You could replace Acrobatics with. You could replace it with Reversal, and what you could do is Agility. Take a hit, Endure, get the Lychee Berry and Swarm, KO something, and then before you get hit again, Endure, so you get down to 1 health, so you get the base power reversal. But if you're running a Fairy, you're in trouble. You run into Fairy or Flying, and I think Poison too. I think you're in trouble with that set, so I'd be really careful about that. But I think for the most part, I wouldn't run Steel Wing either. Just less base power, and it's not really worth it. But that's how to use Scizor in Pokemon Sword and Shield.